We are back with the Buffalonian podcast. I'm Joe Cali. As always, I'm joined by none other than Dom Loss. And Dom, first time in a while, we're in a hybrid setting. We have a digital wall between us as you're getting a little spring cold here. But to make it even better, the Sabres have added to their front office, right? Big news. We've been waiting for it. And it's not the news we've been waiting for. Kevyn Adams is still the general manager and will be staying the general manager. Eric Staal, though, becomes some assistant level position to the GM. Maybe could be giving Kevyn Adams a little kick in the butt, saying, "Hey, listen, Eric's got your name tag next year if things don't come to fruition." I mean, what do you make of that to start things right off? Because not a lot going on in the NFL, so we'll start with the Sabres today.
Yeah, I don't. Hopefully I don't sound too bad, but it's hard to be super negative about it. It's kind of just okay. Like, it's interesting. I didn't expect that to happen. I think you've seen quite a bit of ex-players kind of start to join front offices across the league. And I guess Eric Staal is just the next iteration of that. Obviously, he has a relationship with Kevyn Adams, being on that cup-winning Hurricanes team in 2006. Was a Sabre for half a season during COVID.
That's right. I remember that. Yep.
So I guess he's played with Buffalonian and a couple of these guys, so maybe he has a personal relationship. But I think it's interesting expertise. Obviously, he's known what it takes to win playing in the NHL for that long. Obviously, winning a cup. So, is it super compelling? Probably not, because he has legitimately no front office experience. I guess it's an interesting perspective from being just a player, not so far removed from playing professional hockey, and I wonder how that could impact them. Obviously, Kevyn Adams is still going to be the GM. Carmanos, who's the GM at Rochester and kind of the assistant GM, don't know if he's going to stay on. Looks like he's not, to be honest.
Yeah.
Looks like, hey, he might be gone, which is kind of, I think, kind of dumb because, I mean, Rochester, he's done a pretty good job there, and I don't really understand that.
Rochester's the better half of the relationship. I mean, let's be honest, the way they're playing, the way they're doing things. So.
I don't really understand that move. Seth Abbott apparently might be taking, they might not fire him as the coach, but he might be, part of the front office now. Apparently.
Oh my God.
I mean, I guess you can see the signs, right? Like if you saw the Sabres embedded during the trade deadline, like he was really big in getting Josh Norris. And he must have been, he was also pretty big in the offseason getting Malenstein, because he was talking about how hard it was to play him in like the AHL playoffs. So not great track record with those two.
Malenstein, hard to play in the AHL playoffs. Could he translate to the NHL?
Trade him for a second round pick. So
yeah, yikes.
Yeah, so I don't know how that's going to work out with Abbott. I mean, I'm happy to get him out of coaching the power play, but I still think it's a situation, and it has been reported that the Sabres have kind of talked to NHL teams and ex NHL executives about what they should do. I think they said they want to do kind of a hierarchy now, kind of create like multi-level hierarchy. So I do wonder, I think hopefully we're going to see someone with some front office experience kind of be above Kevyn Adams.
Well, you would think that would be a good plan, right? You'd think even your GM should have some prior GMing experience, or maybe like let's promote from within from a guy with zero experience. That's great. That's gonna set our franchise up for success. So you would hope they learn from past mistakes, maybe get a guy who's had some solid experience in there. At least I sure hope so. But again, they are the Sabres, so I don't know how realistically to look at that and be like, oh, they're going to make the right decision. So, I mean, what do you think? Do you think they actually do it this time? They get the guy with the experience, or is Tear Bear still going to run the show?
I think they will. I mean, I think it's just a situation of, I think they've been embarrassed too much where, I think the Eric Staal thing's a little wonky just because it's like, all right, really no experience. The Seth Abbott piece is just like, I just don't know what he has over the organization. Like, I guess he just has a ton of respect, but whatever.
He's got a ton of respect for what he did with Rochester. Apparently, again, the AHL, the Rochester Americans are the better half of the relationship. They expect everything to work out up here, and it doesn't. So, I don't know.
Who knows? I mean, maybe they go for Rick Dudley. He's kind of a local guy, did a lot of good work with the Hurricanes. Obviously, old Lou Lamoriello just got let go by the Islanders, so maybe he's kind of a guy. Or Ken Holland recently got let go by the Oilers. Apparently, he's not going to be the GM of the Islanders. Apparently, he's out at the time being for that job, so maybe he's kind of a guy that has a lot of experience. Has probably made some moves that probably people don't love, but at the same time, experience is experience. So I think that could be a compelling one. So, I mean, they have options. It's just kind of interesting to see that are we really going to get this hierarchy? And it seems that it's really going to be, Seth Abbott and Eric Staal kind of under Adams, and then maybe there's going to be another person with a president of hockey ops being above Adams. So it's I guess it's interesting that it's not going to be Adams getting with the rumor of Adams changing roles. Yeah. But it looks like he's going to stay and he's going to get a new boss. So I'm for that. To me, it's also what are the odds of? I'll get your thoughts on this. Do you think? I think this increases the odds that he could get fired during the season, though.
Absolutely, because now you have a guy who can step in and take his place almost immediately. You don't have to farm anything out.
Yeah, even be like a stopgap, which is hey, you're still going to be president of hockey ops, but for the next half of season.
Yeah, you're the interim GM for the end of the season. That's what it's going to be, and that's why I said what I said. I think it's a kick in the butt. Hey, if we don't get this shit figured out, pardon my language, if we don't get it figured out, we're not waiting a whole season to get rid of you. You're going to be gone, and I think it's a good precedent to set because. In my opinion, in your opinion, from what we talked about, this guy shouldn't be running this team this offseason. So
you've had 5 years. So,
5 years, and it's actually been regression in the past couple. So, the writing's on the wall. I still think to comment further on your question. If I had to place betting odds on that happening, it's definitely minus 250. If things really are
likely,
I think it's likely that they let him go. He's a clear scapegoat. If they go on another losing streak in November, which is almost historic, right? The November collapse, as I like to call it. Not 13 games, but if a 6-game slide happens and there's just no answer, no getting on the horse trying to figure it out, he's gone. There's no question about it.
I agree. I don't know if it's that extreme, but I think there's
maybe plus 100, okay? Maybe it's
a very good chance that I think this leads to him being potentially fired mid-season, which will be interesting, but... I guess the last note about the Sabres is that they finished 9th in the draft lottery, fell 2 spots. Looking at the all-time draft lottery, the Sabres are 27th all-time, losing 6 spots during the draft lottery over the course of the lottery, so they've been screwed. They had a higher chance of getting the number 1 pick than picking 9th, so that's just awesome. They were 1 number away.
The odds can never be in their favor. They can never be in their favor. It's just how it is.
Yeah. If number 2 came up, the Sabres were going to win the draft lottery, which would have been interesting. But I think we're both kind of team trade the pick. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm not going to crap on Kevyn Adams if it doesn't happen because I also think it's just in the NHL, it just isn't the NBA or the NFL where picks can kind of move kind of easily. These guys take a lot of years to develop, easily. Even top 10 picks take 2 to 3 years, and who really has time for that? If you're looking at some team like Vancouver who could retool, but then Quinn Hughes is going to be a free agent maybe in 2 years and leave. So are they really going to trade a good player on their roster for a guy that might never play with Quinn Hughes? Probably not. So I don't know. Should be interesting, but that's kind of all I got because it's it'd been cool if they won the lottery.
It would have been awesome. We could have actually maybe had a full length Sabres conversation that doesn't have any negativity. I guess it might have been, but it would have been nice to talk. I am team trade the pick, like to you. I'm not, like you said, I'm not going to kill Kevyn Adams if he makes the pick. But if they won the lottery, I would be really excited to start diving into who they pick with that first pick. So it's unfortunate.
Yeah, they could have got a franchise centerman or a franchise. Another left shot defenseman. So
yeah, they love left shots. Right? They steer clear of right shot defensemen, but I don't know. I'm intrigued to see how this offseason goes, if any moves are made, and how Kevyn Adams proceeds. Truthfully, and what we talked about a few minutes ago. He managed the team this season like his job was not on the line, right? Does he? Is there a little bit of a kick in the butt for him to get some things done? Is he more active? Is he more active leading up to the trade deadline next season? Are we going to see these things sort of play out differently? Or is it going to be same old Kevyn Adams, except with Eric Staal at his side this time? What do you think? To just close it out. Do you think we see a big change in Kevyn?
You're 1,000% right. I guess it's going to be interesting to see, is it going to be good that he's desperate, or is it going to be bad and he's going to make some bad contracts that's going to screw
desperation?
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Desperation could be a tool, but it also could be a detriment.
Kevyn Adams doesn't have a lot of time left, and I don't think you have a lot of time left with this particular core. At one point, there's Dahlin, who's been, if they were good, he would be a potential Norris winner. how long until he goes, this is just like trash or
then he is gonzos, and Bissonnette's right. Like, how long until that actually happens?
Like tucks a free agent after the season. Like, I'm sorry. Like at this point, like if it's not this season, it's kind of like, man, we're gonna have to go into rebuild number 4 in this.
Yeah. Do you tank?
But
do you tank if it's not this season? Do you tank at the end?
Please.
11 years later, we're tanking again.
It did make me feel pretty good that all those teams that were like, oh, we should have tanked so we could get like what the Flyers were or whatever, which I think were the 4th best odds. All those guys dropped. So like it made me feel pretty good that like it doesn't matter that they won those games.
Yeah. Jeez, I don't know. Go Sabres, I guess. We'll see. I mean,
some positive news. I think I'd be pretty. Here's my thing about like the whole Eric Staal thing too. Is that like it's hard for me to say anything negative or positive about it until we see like all the moves they make in the front office. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like once we get like that one article that has like the bubble, like the bullet points of every move that's every change, and then we can dive more deep into it. But now it's mostly just speculation and kind of okay, cool, but like this isn't the end move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Go Sabres. Let's see. I'm intrigued to see this offseason. But another offseason note for the NFL, schedule release is coming up for the Bills this coming Wednesday. It's going to be intriguing to see the rivalry jerseys as well. That's a whole different day, though, is it not? We talked about that a little bit last week, that they're releasing those. When did they say? I'm trying to remember.
What'd you say?
The rivalry jerseys? Like, is that on the night of the schedule release, or is that a totally different rollout?
I would assume so.
It better be. It better be. I'm gonna be frustrated if it's not.
I would be shocked if they're like, oh, like when they announce the jerseys like every Tuesday or Wednesday during the season, like these are the jerseys we're wearing. I think that'd be kind of dumb. I would assume that they put a special, star on when they're actually using the jerseys.
An asterisk that might mean the new Avengers. Like, oh no, never mind. wrong concept for the pod. But no, so the Bills schedule release is coming out. You're guaranteed Miami, New England twice. All those, the AFC least, you play them twice a year. And then it's the we're gonna see. Are we going to Ireland? Are we gonna take a trip to Ireland for the Bills Steelers game? Is that gonna happen? Do you think that actually happens at the end of the day? That's like the big talking point right now on the schedule releases. Are the Bills going to Ireland to play the Steelers early in the season?
I thought it was that they think it's going to be Green Bay again.
Going.
But I think it's that if the Bills don't have an international game, they're playing a home game on Christmas.
Yeah, I'm not going to like that.
I've heard. Have you heard that rumor? I've heard that rumor quite a bit.
That rumor's been tossed around more so. I've seen it like reactionary of like, hey, would you like it if the Bills, like that kind of a thing, if they played on Christmas? What player do you think is going to tell you they're going to want to play on Christmas and not be with their families? I mean, that's all you heard from Mahomes and Kelsey last season. I'm
still shocked they didn't put them on Thanksgiving last year when they were playing the Lions.
Yeah, you would think.
I thought for sure. So I don't know. It's kind of intriguing. Usually you get a maximum of like 5 primetime games. And, they have a decent schedule. Last year they had 2 in-division primetime games. They played in New York on Monday. Actually, it was both road games, now that I think about it. They played in Miami on Thursday night, week 2, and then I think it was week 7, Monday Night Football, maybe week 6. I can't fully... Actually, I think it was week 6 now that I think about it. But
so your home opponents, other than the AFC East, are Baltimore, Bengals, New Orleans, Tampa, Chiefs, and Eagles. I threw city names and team names in there. So
and their away schedule sucks.
Their away schedule is Cleveland, Carolina, Atlanta, Pittsburgh, Ireland, and Houston. So it's not great. I mean, the home schedule is going to be interesting because there's a lot of heavy hitters coming into town. So we'll see if that undefeated home record stands this season. I don't know if it will, but...
Well, I would bet... I pretty much bet my entire life that Chiefs game was going to be 425 CVS.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, that is a bet worthy of that. Because
just
that's pretty much...
listen, they've done it, 2 times that hasn't been CBS. I think it was supposed to be a Fox Thursday night game when they first played, and then the following year in 21 they played Sunday Night Football, and since then it's been a CBS tradition like no other, like the Masters. So I would assume.
Hello, friends. 425 in Arrowhead Stadium.
I will say this. I guess I don't know if it's gonna be bold or not. I would expect both teams that they host in the Super Bowl, the Chiefs and Eagles. I don't think those are gonna be quote unquote primetime games. I think they'll be national primetime, like national window games.
You're absolutely right.
They'll play 425 CBS and like 425 Fox for Philadelphia. I don't think those are going to be prime. I would assume
Baltimore's a prime timer.
Baltimore's probably going to be a Sunday night game. That just has. I mean, they played Sunday night last year. That kind of has a Sunday night football feel.
Joe Burrow and Cincinnati could be too.
I think Cincy's a Monday night game. I mean, just because last time they played them, and I don't know.
Put Demar on the field. Let's keep him off this time. All right, we
yeah,
got to keep the demons from getting out.
Those two are pretty safe bets, I think, to be prime time. Other than that, it's kind of like it's hard because again, if you take maybe Philly gets in there, but if Philly and the Chiefs aren't, it's kind of hard to see where the Bills play primetime football because it's kind of like, okay, maybe, I mean, they probably go a divisional game, right? So that's 3. If you count Bengals, Ravens, divisional game is 3. Maybe Tampa. I mean, they played primetime Thursday night football against Tampa a couple years ago, but I don't know if they want to repeat that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Maybe we get 2 divisional games, 2 of those games, and we get a wild card game. You know, maybe Pittsburgh is a primetime game. They kind of like, but usually they play those. I mean, it's been a while since they played in Pittsburgh. I think the last time they played in Pittsburgh was 2019. Like, it's been a while since they played in Pittsburgh. And that was a Sunday night football game. So
that was.
I don't know. It's fast. Where do you think they're going to go primetime? Because it's hard. It's really hard for the away slate. This is why I think they're going to have like 2 in-division rivalry games on the road on primetime, because I just think it's hard to imagine Atlanta, Carolina, Cleveland, Pittsburgh.
I see one New England game being primetime because of the Diggs and all of that, right? And
sure, that's a good point. That's a good point.
So Diggs back in the AFC East, going to play him twice. One of them, probably the away game, is going to be primetime. So sure, give me a primetime game there. You're absolutely right, though. Looking at the rest of the away slate,
it's just hard. It's really hard. I don't know what the Christmas game would be. Like if they played home against someone on Christmas, like
Bills Chiefs Christmas Day because it pulls
that
ratings.
Would be diabolical.
That's what I'm thinking though. Like that could be it. Netflix needs a top bill.
I don't think they would.
That could be that.
I don't think they would do that because I think the NFL thinks they could sell Christmas without Chiefs and Bills playing each other. Like they know that 1 week is going to draw 30 million people, and they could do it like at week 4. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I think it's always 420. I don't know. Maybe that's the Philly. Maybe it's Philly Buffalo on Christmas. That'd be crazy. Christmas. Two intense fan bases
on Christmas. Yeah, that'd be wild.
A lot of jolly Christmas cheer that game would be.
Yeah. Oh my God. But outside of that, I mean, I'm looking definitely like we said, home games, Baltimore, Cincy. Prime time, and then Chiefs Eagles possibly Christmas now, and Chiefs 4:25 p.m. on CBS with Jim Nantz and Tony Romo. New England is probably, I would say, the only shot they have at a primetime game. The Jets don't have any pizzazz to them anymore with Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, the Dolphins probably could get in there because they played them the last 2 years. They've played primetime games.
They could play them late in the season, say it's the last game, but then again, New England could be challenging for the AFC East this season with how good they could possibly be. So like, I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying it could be interesting.
That would be really pretty bad.
That would be a bad season, Ken Dorsey-esque season for the Bills if that was how that went. But I don't see Carolina, Cleveland, not Titans.
That's what I'm saying. The away slate is so bad, which is why like everyone's like, yeah, the Bills have an easy schedule, and it's like it's kind of hard to say no because the away slate is terrible. Awful. And then
the home games are tough.
The home slate is tough. I'm not going to lie. Cincinnati, Baltimore, Kansas City, Philadelphia. And if you want to put Tampa in there because Tampa's a good playoff team too, that's 5, pretty good teams.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also in Buffalo. So like you have you have the advantage of being home. So that's where it's very interesting with the schedule. It's like hard not to be super optimistic because it's like your toughest road game is what?
Toughest road?
Pittsburgh?
Yeah, possibly. And that
might that's not probably it. Like Carolina's maybe improved, but whatever. Atlanta's mid. Right now, Browns are bad.
Even Pittsburgh though. Right now, you have Will Howard or Mason Rudolph. Like, how tough is that really going to be?
Yeah, I'm blanking on a. I guess they play in Houston, so maybe you know what? Houston might be a primetime game. I knew I was blanking on the eighth away game.
The bad coaching bowl again. We'll see if it takes
Well,
it
like
down to
even
the wire
Houston,
like
like
last time.
having Houston be your Houston's probably the toughest road game. I was blank. I knew I was like I'm blanking on the division winner they play on the road. It's Houston in the AFC South. So that one, maybe that's a primetime game. You know, maybe you get 4,
Possibly.
and maybe that's the. I mean,
It still doesn't have like top billing primetime value. That might be a Thursday night game because those games are all crap.
yeah, there's not that many
90%
storylines
of
for
the
that
time.
game, especially if Diggs gone. Yeah,
Yeah, there's nothing other than the terrible coaching from both sides last year that ended that game. Like that's really it.
like
So, I don't
Tomlin
know.
and McDermott kind of has the feel because of the William and Mary thing that they milk every year.
They do
Okay, so,
milk that. That's
if
bad.
we're gonna say 4 to 5, whatever, who do you think the Bills begin the season against? Week 1. Last year was Arizona at home.
Pittsburgh.
You think it's Pittsburgh? They start in Pittsburgh?
I think they start in Ireland, play in Pittsburgh.
No, you're an Ireland guy. I think they're going to play at home at Christmas. So I just
You,
don't think.
you think?
Could it be Baltimore? I don't know. Baltimore played on Christmas last year. I just don't know how like diverse they want to be on Christmas. When is Christmas? You know, that's probably a good thing because remember last year.
Well, this is December 25th. I just don't know what day of the week.
The day of the week, because remember, because remember last year those teams had to play 3 games in 10 days because they had to play that. Remember they had to play Saturday, Wednesday.
It's a Thursday. Christmas is a Thursday this year.
Okay, so actually they probably don't have to do that this year. They're probably just going to say it's a Thursday night game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Or because it's Netflix and they're like Thursday Night Football will be on Prime, but we're going to do a Christmas Day game earlier. I guarantee you they still milk it because they know people are going to have it.
They won't have an Amazon game. I doubt that happens.
You think it'll all be Netflix Thursday Night Football?
That would be great. I mean, I'd be
because they normally. I feel like it would be similar to how the Sundays are. Like you have CBS and then you flip it to NBC for Sunday night, where it would be Netflix for the Christmas Day games and then Thursday Night Football for Thursday Night Football.
Nah, they're not going to do that. It's a doubleheader for Netflix.
Yeah, could they outbid Prime for it though? That's the question.
Probably they put like a million. The only thing I could think of is maybe they're going to go noon 3:37, but that'd be even triple header on Christmas. I don't know, but
well, we'll know. We'll know next week, Wednesday, the 14th.
I'll say this: who they're going to play Week 1? They're going to play the Justin Fields New Era Jets in MetLife. That's my prediction. Bills at Jets 1 p.m.
Gonna have to hold a shotgun to someone's head to watch that game.
Well, I just think. I don't know. They haven't like that's a good one. Like the Bills 1 p.m. The Bills usually play 1 p.m. on Week 1, other than the one year they played the Rams. So I mean they can't play Philly because they host Philly, so that the Thursday game was out.
Mm-hmm. The only reason I'm thinking Ireland though is because the Bills do have an international fan base, right? Bless you. I see it happen. The screen's glitching because you're moving so fast. But the Bills do have an international following to the point where I could see the NFL being like, oh, let's capitalize on this. The Steelers are rumored to go to Ireland. Bills Steelers normally play early in the year when they do play each other. Home game for the Steelers. Send them to Ireland.
Yeah, you know what? It would be Saturday. It would be a night game because that's what they did in Brazil with the Eagles and Packers. No, I think the Bills usually play 1 p.m. I don't really see a game like I'm taking the NFC off the board because they did that last year. I just would doubt they would be like, oh, go to Carolina at 1 p.m. or New Orleans comes here for 1 p.m. My only thing I would be concerned about would be, I guess, Ireland, and are they going to make Ravens Bills Week 1 Sunday Night Football?
They could do that.
That would be my one concern, is that game could be Sunday Night Football Week 1. Rather than that, I don't know. I think it's going to be a chill in-division Jets road game.
Yeah.
Because they have played the Jets, they played the Jets in 19, they played them in 20. They played the Jets a couple of times recently, in recent memory, on Week 1. So I think we could see that. Usually they don't play Miami, they don't really play New England Week 1, but they've played the Jets a couple times the last couple of years to start off the season. So I would assume that's the game.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong.
Well, no. Next Wednesday night, we're going to see it, and hopefully the rivalry jerseys too. That'll be some good stuff to talk about. And start putting some money on. See I want to get one of those rivalry jerseys. See if they go navy blue or the '90s style, Shelby, or do they go city theme, like a different thing? Like I don't know. Like it could be interesting. But we do have a championship team to be talking about because the Bandits, for the 5th straight season, have made an appearance in the NLL Finals. Or actually, let me rephrase that. They have the ultimate bye week leading up to the NLL Finals because they clinched in 2 against Vancouver. And now Halifax and Saskatchewan have only played 1 game of their series, which they'll finish up this coming weekend. The Bandits are watching on the couch, just going to watch some film, going to enjoy themselves, and we'll see if it's a detriment or if it's a help. They get to taper a little bit, rest, or if it takes them out of the swing of things. I mean, what do you think? Matt Vince put on a show these past 2 games.
He did. It's been weird. You think the Bandits as this high-powered offense, and it's really been their defense and Vince kind of carrying them.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's concerning or not. McKay's really stepped up in the playoffs. He's actually their leading goal scorer combined regular season and playoffs.
Yeah, 7. He's got 7.
Chase Frazier had a couple of highlight reel goals. Nianikok's battling through it. Chris Couchet is not healthy. So I don't know. It's a weird year, but I don't know. It's also showing that home field kind of matters, kind of doesn't. I mean, the NBA second round, every single road team has won. NHL last night, both road teams won, but the Bandits keep cooking at home, and they have the advantage for another 9 days of rust, or we'll see if it's good or not. But they do have an advantage because the earliest set series between Halifax and Saskatchewan ends is the 10th. If Saskatchewan wins Saturday night, so they're going to have 6 days off, and the Bandits have had almost 2 weeks. So
2 weeks, closing in on 14 days.
And home floor advantage. So.
Yeah. So it shall be interesting. Listen, could they three-peat? That could be a legendary moment in that building, and it's going to be rocking. I can't wait to see how things go from there, and I'm very excited to see how things end up for Banditland. Do they get the 3rd? Do they hang another banner before the Sabres do anything?
The three-peat.
Yeah,
the triple.
The triple. The turkey in bowling terms, but it's gonna be fun. Are you gonna be in Banditland at all, watching any of those games? You think?
Maybe. Actually, I don't think I gotta look at the schedule because I think
if the Bisons interfere.
The Bisons play that week. That is interesting. The Bisons do play that Friday, so I don't know what they're gonna do with that.
Yeah. Well, we got a lot of stuff to look forward to.
We'll
3-peat run, NFL schedule release. And will the Sabres do anything in the offseason? That's pretty interesting. So we'll keep you all updated throughout the off seasons because the Bandits are fast approaching as well, win or lose. So we're going to be in the dog days of summer before you know it. But that's going to do it for this edition of the Buffalonian podcast. I'm Joe Cali. As always, I'm joined by none other than Dom Loss. And Dom, how do we always end these, buddy?
Go Bills, baby.
Go Bills.